13 singles and about 4 studio albums.
You got my number. Why don't you use it?
And they're coming to play Leamington next Friday.
My name.
Joining us on the line, Mickey Bradley, bass guitarist and vocalist with the band, is with us this morning. Morning, Mickey.
Morning, Shane. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. What a back catalogue there. Just a little soup song of the Undertones back catalogue. You must be really
soup song.
A little soup song. You must be really proud when you hear all of those back to back like that. It wasn't some great songwriting going on and some great singles you produced.
Well, it's very kind of you to say that. And you know what? Sometimes you do sit and listen, and you try and listen dispassionately and think, that's not bad. That's not bad. I could think of worse bands to be in.
Yeah. I mean, I always think as well, let's not name them. I always think as well, it's about the landscape, the musical landscape at the time as well. And what you have to, the caveat with that, I suppose, really, Mickey, is that you were at the sort of the vanguard of a new movement as well, weren't you, at the time? So you're riding the crest of a wave. The songwriting's great, the playing's great, the music's great.
I hear a butt coming up here.
No, I'm just thinking.
And then something terrible happens.
And then Feargal left. No. We're not going to. We won't dwell on that too much. But I mean, in terms of at the time, good times for you. Was it the best time of your musical career? Do you think?
Oh, well, it was, yeah, because it was something that we never really strived for. I think some of the guys in the band may have had ambitions in that, but the rest of us, we were just happy to be in a band, and then it all kind of happened for us. So, yeah, we had a good couple of years. We had, we were regulars on Top of the Pops and so on, and we were just having a great time, and we had a good attitude too. We had a nice sort of democratic setup in the band. And, yeah, in 1983, Feargal left, but you see, by about late 81, start of 82, the crack had gone out of it. We had decided that. I had decided. No, I can see the finishing line there, and he just started to change. And then whenever Feargal says that he was leaving, everyone says, "Oh, great, thanks for the relief." It was like a divorce,
You must though. That must be difficult as a youngster and as somebody who's kind of, you've hit on something. I mean, you learn to play your musical instruments, and then I know it's some time later, Mickey, but you're on Top of the Pops, and you kind of think it must have a feeling that it can go on forever. That realisation that it doesn't, and very often doesn't go on forever, and has to come to an end. That must be difficult though to deal with, was it?
I think if you do believe that it's going to go on forever, it can be difficult. But we never believed that,
didn't you?
No, we always kind of thought, we knew we weren't the Beatles. Put it like that. So you knew that this has a limited shelf life. Now, then you think, well, okay, I'll try and be in another band, and then that, in my case, that didn't work, and then you just go, right, well, what am I going to do now? And I went back to Derry, and I went back to college for about a year, and then I landed on my feet working in the BBC station, from which I am speaking at this very moment.
I know you do a show on Foyle, don't you? I didn't realise you do. Don't you do a music show on Foyle as well?
I do a music show in Ulster. I'm a producer here. I've been. It's frightening. I've been 26 years a producer at the BBC, which is a lifetime, So that's why I can look back and kind of put the Undertones thing into perspective. And we still play, of course, which is always great. It's like going away with your friends.
Exactly. I'm going to talk about the Leamington gig in a little while. It's interesting to draw a parallel. We obviously had the Specials come out of Coventry, and Horace Panther, the bass player in the Specials,
is a great artist.
He's a great artist, and decided he wanted to go and teach when the Specials were no more. And I often wonder how, and he's back playing as well, same as you now. And they're kind of back and doing various gigs, and he's working on all kinds of projects, and he plays as a session man. In a way, because I wonder whether you feel, I'm always kind of dining out on what I've done, but you're not, are you? You're moving forward with it, really, in that sense.
Depends who you ask, Shane. Some people would say, still going on about the Undertones, but
do you worry about that? Do you want to listen to him banging, look, all right, you're in the Undertones, get over it, kind of thing? Do you worry about that? You feel like you're dining out on past glories or not?
As you know, the older you get, the less you worry about what people think of you. Sure. And I think I would judge that I am pretty sparing in my Undertones anecdotes, but sometimes you just get in a row. Sometimes you have to say, did I ever tell you the thing? And then it's a great room clearer, But no, I think it's interesting you're talking about Horace there. I don't really know him. We exchange the odd message on Twitter, but I think it's different if you're not the songwriter, or indeed you're not the singer in the band. Bass players always have the best jobs, because while the band's playing, you can be sitting there and you can be, or standing there on stage, you can be playing, you'll be thinking, this band's going to break up. What am I going to do afterwards?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my theory anyway.
Do you know, I only for a hobby, but I play a little bit of guitar and I play a little bit of bass, and that's my favourite. I feel like I've got an affinity
Bass
with
is
bass
great.
players. Yeah.
Let's face it, Shane, there's not a lot of learning to do in bass. Come on.
But there's something about bass players in the Mickey, don't you think? There's something special about us. We're a special breed. No, the only reason I say that, I was watching. Did you see that? Did you see the Culture Club documentary on BBC
Yes.
4 recently?
Wasn't that great?
And the only one I came away liking again was the bass player in all of that. I thought he was he's a wonderful guy, isn't he? He's a really nice, gentle man, a real family man, and you kind of think I can relate to him. And the interesting thing was the dynamic between the three of them.
Yeah.
And Boy George.
Oh, yes.
Was that the same in the Undertones? Was it you guys and Feargal?
On a much smaller scale, it would have been, yeah. And you know, it's down to silly things like, well, Feargal was kind of last to join, you know, apart from Damien. But you know, we in the mid-70s we were hanging around O'Neill's house, and then we got Feargal the singer. But also Feargal didn't write the songs as well. You say he didn't write any of the songs, so there was that kind of thing, because whenever you were in the studio, the songwriters would have been doing a bit of kind of directing and so on. But to the outside world, Feargal was the Undertones, and you know, you have to accept that. You know, the singer is always the one that you remember. It definitely was not the case. As I say, I saw the Culture Club documentary, and it was really entertaining, but it was really awkward viewing.
Sad as well. Don't you think it was sad? It was like all that potential, and they just, you know, they just can't get it together.
Yeah, that's because I think Boy George has so many other things going for him in life. You know, I think the reunion of Culture Club was probably just another project to him.
Yeah.
But to some of the other guys, the band might have been more important, and you could see it. But having said that, they had a great time in Spain. I would have loved to have been there.
Yeah, it was not.
I just realised we're
little,
losing anybody who doesn't see the programme.
nice little play. No, they went to a recording studio, like a residential recording studio in Granada in southern Spain, didn't they? And it was, and they were out there as well. But even then, they weren't relaxed, were they at all? It was tense.
No, it was tense, and there was all sorts of. But it's one of those documentaries where, you know, the subtitle comes up. You know, later George didn't turn up, and you know, there's been tension and all that stuff. We got back together a few years ago, and we made some records too. But we made the mistake. We only made them in Derry. We should have gone to Spain, somewhere nice and hot and sunny.
What's it like playing now without Feargal and reshaping the band and coming back? And as you say, you're older, you're wiser, you're more relaxed. And again, we had another local band, King. In our studios, but without Paul King, because he doesn't do it anymore.
Well, that's difficult.
Similar situation, but they still sound great. They're still, I mean, they are really slick musicians. They played live in our studios here. Fantastic band as well. And I should imagine it's for you. You're kind of comfortable in your own skin, nothing to prove. How do fans react to that though, without Feargal being at the front?
But you see, we've been doing it for so many years. We've been doing it for almost 16 years now. So people have got used to it, and it's that kind of thing. You know, the people who see the band say, "Yeah, it was brilliant," you know. But you have to balance the internal dynamics of a band without sounding too grand, and what it sounds like. So it sounds great, and the internal dynamics of the band are far better now than they would have been with Feargal for all sorts of reasons. And of course, you know, it's not like Feargal had a huge career and still does have a big career in music, but it's a better fit now with Paul McClune, who's from Derry, and we know him so well, and he himself has a very successful radio show in Dublin. So there's a good balance there.
And I mentioned Leamington Spa, first of
Royal
May.
Royal
Leamington Spa, absolutely, no less. You're playing at the Assembly, 20 quid a ticket, doors open at 7. I'll give people the details again if they want to go along. But is this part of a tour, or so you're just doing a few dates, or is it too grand to call it a tour or not?
It's too. We never do enough to do. I always call them Tourette's, because there is a lot of cursing as well. But we never really do
a lot of
proper
swearing
tours.
as well. Is
a lot of swearing. Yeah. We never do proper tours. You know, we would do this. It's coming up in the next couple of weeks. There's a big tour for us. There's 6 days away.
Wow,
whew, 6 days, which is great. We're doing like Germany and France and so on.
Oh, right across Europe as well then.
Yeah, but that's great. You know, it's like being on holiday with your friends, and you play at night and all that. And then after that, we all go back home again. We all go back to our own lives, which is it's a great setup, and it's been working so long that I don't want to change it at all.